Good morning. Welcome to SaaS Connect. I'm Sunir. I've been emailing you for about several months. Thank you for coming. This is the 8th time we've done this event. First time under the new brand. I'm very excited to do it again. Thank you for coming back. Now, as you know, people who know me, I love the 1980s. Big hair, where dial-up was truly dial-up. And I was going through my magazine collection, because that's how cool I am. I was looking at this info world. And so this is 1984, at the peak of the PC software revolution. And of course, when you're in it, you don't know. And so even though we all know PC software was the greatest explosion of software in history, the sky was falling, Chicken Little, everything was going to fail. We should just get out and quit. It was a great story. Here we go. So interestingly, for those of you who have been around through the PC revolution, or those who remember anyway, it was a big change. So before the 80s, companies used to sell big enterprise licenses. They'd be happy to get to 1,000 units. There'd be some sort of recurring service agreement associated with the software. If that sounds like enterprise SaaS today, that's because we're all doing the 1970s again, but with better pants. But what happened in the 80s was someone figured out you can put software in a box and ship it all the way down to retail. And some people were selling hundreds of thousands of units. And in fact, the fastest growing software company at the time, and in fact, actually a long time, was Lotus. And they managed to sell $53 million in their first year, which in today's money is about $125 million. I know a lot of people go race $100 million in ARR. Lotus did it in 1 year, because that was the power of the channel in the PC revolution. But of course, when you're in it, you don't know. And so even though it was all very exciting, the sky was falling. A lot of software companies, in fact, most were losing money at the time. And so people thought, OK, maybe this the personal computer thing, it's just a fad. It won't really get anywhere. People are not really going to buy computers. And we all know that happened. No one buys computers anymore. And then venture capitalists would never invest in software companies. No, venture capitalists never invest in software companies these days, as you know. And then Microsoft, they're crazy. They should just stick to their knitting, stay in operating systems, never build applications. And we're so glad that they're still building MS-DOS today. What I love about this story is it really shows the partnership role in software. Now, if you look at back in 1983, when this article was published in the year before, Microsoft was not even the biggest software company around. It was MicroPro International, who we all know, and thank you for sponsoring MicroPro. Does anyone actually remember who MicroPro is? I had to look it up. WordStar. Who out there remembers WordStar fondly? Yeah, I love WordStar. Yeah. Crazy keyboard shortcuts, but yeah, WordStar. They sold at their peak 700,000 units in 1 year. And year on year, they would sell like that. It's incredible. But this is like a partner story. So everyone knows Microsoft's partner story, where they did a deal with IBM to be the operating system on the IBM PCs. MicroPro, like WordStar, they also did a bundling deal with Osborne Computing, all these other personal computers, and went to market. And they had an amazing marketing channel strategy by tying to the computers. Lotus was actually a team from VisiCorp, which made VisiCalc. They said, hey, we have a better spreadsheet for you guys. But VisiCorp was so distracted with conferences and books and stuff, they said, I don't know, we don't care about products anymore. We have such a great brand, and they let Lotus go. And then Lotus turned around and did a deal with IBM and became the killer app of the IBM PC. And then they grew to such enormous size. But as anyone knows, Lotus is not the spreadsheet that we use today. It's mostly Excel. And what happened was Microsoft warned them for years that Windows is going to be the new platform, and Lotus said, we don't need it. And in fact, they did a classic partner mistake. They overcommitted to their favorite channel and decided that IBM will only build Lotus for OS 2. And then that's basically when they died. So if you ever want to know the value of partnership people in software, it's because of these things. Like decisions that we make or don't make, or opportunities that we seize or don't seize, or platforms that we negotiate or don't negotiate, have a huge impact on our company's success. You either keep your revenue going, you can make a breakout success, or you can zero out your company. Now, who here, as a partnership person, has ever dreamt of the deal that would change your company and give you hundreds of millions of dollars? Whoever's dreamt that? Say aye. Yeah. That's what we do. That's what we're doing here today, right? We're all going to make $100 million by the end of today. But of course, I don't know if you've been noticing what's going on the last couple years, but the biggest teams that are growing inside SaaS are sales and success, customer success. And that's a little bit because there's a little thing called predictable revenue or other sales strategies that allow you to generate revenue predictably by just putting in more money and more labor to get more results. Who here works at a company where the sales team is growing really, really fast and you still want more payroll on your partner team? Say aye. Yes. What's the difference? What's the difference? Well, partnerships is unpredictable revenue, right? We don't have like a process, right, that generates money in, money out for partnerships because we're working with these big wild bets a lot of the time. And also, a typical partnership person has to keep so many different partner channels open in their mind in a given week. Does anyone here have, from Monday at 9 a.m. to Friday at 5 p.m., they work on 3 or 4 different programs, completely different. Resellers, integrations, distribution, channel. Who has that experience? Say aye. Yes. This is what we do here at Partnership Land. I love it. I love doing the deal, wheel and deal, but this is what partnership people do. So, what are we all doing here, right? This is clearly we know, like, this is a partnership conference. We definitely set it up here. Why? What are we working on? So, quick aside, for those of you following along or those of you who are new, we rebranded last year from the Small Business Web to the Cloud Software Association. It's a better name, but why do we do this? Those of you who know, we've been doing this for 8 years. There's kind of like a limit, a ceiling, a growth ceiling, actually, in the SMB SaaS market and B2B SaaS, where people have been struggling to get to 10,000 subscriptions. Some people are stuck in the 10,000 to 100,000 subscription limit. But you remember WordStar? They drove 700,000 in 1 year, right? Because they had distribution. Last year, I don't think anyone had made it to 1 million subscriptions. I think this year, there's a couple who've been turning their desktop customers to SaaS customers and made it to 1 million subscriptions. But what we found coming to the event year after year is that all the biz dev partnership people were coming, and a bunch of channel people were coming, a bunch of reseller channel people were coming, and we're trying to figure out how do we get the distribution network to work. And as much as in 1984, when they didn't know whether that distribution stuff would really work, but they were on a precipice where a couple companies had broken out, we're at that stage now where we're starting to see some companies have broken out and built distribution channels. And now, for the rest of us, we're trying to figure out how to stitch it together. Because I don't know, 10,000 is nice, 100,000 is great, but who really wants 1 million subscriptions? Say aye. Yes, and only the partner people can do that, because we're the only ones who can set up distribution. So, I just want to point out, you're in a room full of people that live in that chaotic, unpredictable revenue, so many ideas in your head world, who wants to figure out distribution. This is what we do this event for. I'm going to say, I don't know if those of you saw the email I put out last week. This is an interesting year. I think there was a lot of people moving around from job to job. I caught up with a lot of folks. An interesting thing about being a partnership person, it's very hard to reach out and ask for help because you're negotiating with people, right? You don't want to lose your negotiating position by admitting that you have challenges. But we all have challenges in our jobs, and it's actually not that bad. And the partner people are super helpful. And this is actually how the association came together in the first place, is that we just hung out a lot and wanted to help each other. So this conference is about connection. It's called SaaS Connect. I want you guys to connect with other folks. I want to break the ice right now. I want you guys to spend 3 minutes, get up, turn to someone next to you, tell them who you are, what you've been working on, and what challenge you'd like to solve by coming to SaaS Connect. So just spend 3 minutes doing that. All right. I'm actually a professional librarian. I don't know if you knew that. I have a degree. I have a degree in everything. I will shush you. Okay, hopefully you guys found some people here who have similar challenges to you, starting to realize, we're all facing similar gaps that we're trying to overcome. So why do we have an association? Why do we come together? Why do we have this retreat every year? Why do we organize this? It's because we can solve it together, not just because it's good for the world, but because we each have the need to solve it together. And so what are we doing here? We're talking through these problems. We have a lot of speakers here talking about their own professional experience and sharing to you what's going on in their lives, so we can see what's going on in someone else's professional life and learn from that. We have roundtables and mentors here to learn from each other. There's a lot you can go on, but that crazy cloud, that's the unpredictable revenue cloud that's in our mind, it can get overwhelming. And so there's a few things we've learned over the time. So I'm going to give you a little framework to think about what's going on today, so you don't get lost in all these terms, and you kind of figure out how you can take this stuff back and create a systematic approach. So just let me do some catch you up and do some table setting. So we do know some things actually about partnerships. It's not so unpredictable. There's revenue in partnerships, so we know that. Those of you who wonder how do you even track revenue or have bosses who are like, what's the ROI of your partner channel, right? There's really only 3 main ways that a partnership can drive revenue. One is by driving demand. These are people who are going to get you more signups, more subscriptions at the top of your funnel, right? The other one, which is harder to track but critical in the software world, is adoption and retention. This is where you're building a whole product solution that is more compelling to your customers and keeps them sticking around. And the last one is revenue, where you're doing upsell and cross-selling of other people's products, increasing the average revenue per account. We know these things. Every partnership that you look at can be lensed through 1, 2, or 3 of these metrics to see what the ROI is. So we do know some things. It's not so unpredictable. That's the revenue piece. Second, and this is probably the most important thing to understand the state of the market today, is there are really 3 kinds of partnerships. One is other people's product, as product integrations. One is leveraging other people's marketing, which is distribution. And the other one is leveraging other people's sales, which is reselling. And if it's interesting to compare today to 1984 and understand the difference between the SaaS market and the PC market to understand why we do what we do as partnership people today and why they did what they did and why it's different. So in the PC world, product integration was actually pretty weak. It was very hard to do application-to-application data sharing. Integration was vertical from the computer, operating system, application stack, right? Which is a very tight integration. Like Lotus being the killer app for a PC allowed them to sell a lot of units. But between apps, very difficult. But what they did do really well was figure out the reseller side. I'm going to tell you all those terms that we have in that little cloud came from basically the early 80s. All those mechanisms for building channel were kind of invented at that time. And that's the jargon that we use today. So resellers, or VARs as we call them, value-added resellers, would go and buy the hardware and then buy this new stuff called independent software from independent software vendors and stitch together, build a complete solution, and sell it on to end customers as a complete product. And these independent software vendors had to create events, something called a software license, right, which allow the reseller channel to grow. But the nice thing about software licenses is clever people figure out you can also put diskettes in a box and ship them through the retail distribution to all the shopping malls of America, right? And suddenly you have these companies come up in the channel called software publishers and software distributors and all these things, and you've made this huge distribution network, all because they figured out the reseller side first. But SaaS is different. All our focus really is on the product side. It's very difficult to resell SaaS because how do you resell a subscription? Most of us end up relying on a referral model or affiliate model, which is basically a referral model, right? And then you find our distribution is very typically referral based. So when you're looking at G2 Crowd or GetApp or doing lead generation sites for your marketplaces, it's mostly a referral based distribution rather than a resell. Now there's lots of people working on subscription, rebilling, and resell. It's just like there was product integration in the PC world. But by and large, it's harder to do resell and distribution in SaaS. That there is a partner ecosystem in SaaS is because of product integrations, right? It's because SaaS is a software on a network, and the network allowed the data to be integrated, which allowed us to create integrations, which allowed us to create a partner network through integrations. And that, if you find, who here finds most of their partner work is on the integration side and not resellers? Say aye. Yeah, it's because of that reason. But interestingly too, product integrations in SaaS are not like they were in the PC world, where it's a component integration. Like if you put a CPU in a laptop, you have 100% market penetration when that goes to market because the CPU is in the laptop, right? Every laptop sells with that CPU, right? SaaS is not like that. We have lateral connections, indirect connections. We create a web of software. So there's always a smaller conversion rate. So if you're finding that your SaaS product integrations are not creating hockey stick-like growth, it's because we're kind of doing this side-to-side web product integration rather than a component stack integration. And this is the political economics of partner land in technology. It happens in every technology sector. If you want to understand how partnerships work in SaaS and why they are, it's because of this triangle. So what's the core problem that we could fix, that we can work on? Now, product integration we can improve. There's definitely embeddable widgets and stuff that's coming in SaaS that will increase the amount of product sell-through. But the fundamental problem in SaaS is the subscription causes customers to have a direct relationship with a vendor because of the ongoing recurring billing relationship. And so SaaS ends up being forced into a direct sales, direct marketing model. And every time you have someone in between, like a reseller or distributor, try to get in the way, this love triangle, they fight over the customer, you end up creating channel conflict and squishing down your opportunities for distribution. Like, this is the fundamental problem in partnerships. And whenever you talk to resellers or distribution channels, you're talking about billing systems and logins and all this stuff. This is why this problem here. And if we're going to fix it, we're all trying to fix this problem and trying to find a way to turn this into more of a value chain. And why should we do this? Like, the opportunity is so big, like so much bigger. Like, where are we right now as an industry? So enterprise SaaS makes about $46 billion as of last year. And Salesforce, I think, is about $9 billion. They're the kings for sure. But Microsoft, they make $97 billion, I think, last year. This is from 2010. There was this really deep study of the 2010 ecosystem and showed that I think over 90% of Microsoft revenue comes from its partners. So they don't really do a lot of direct. And then the reason why that works is that partners make 8 times as much money on the sale than Microsoft itself. They make $8 for every $1 Microsoft makes in a sale. It's because it's a value-added reseller channel, right? And this is how you get to be the king. Like, the overall enterprise market for software is about $400 billion. SaaS is $46 billion. And I'd say if right now we're at nighttime and we're all worshiping the moon, it's shiny, but the day is coming, the dawn is coming, and the sun is going to come out soon. The $400 billion is going to come out, market's going to come out, and that is where the fun comes in. Like, remember we all dream about making the big $1 million subscriptions, 1 million subscriptions, big changes? It's because we're going to work on this and fix this. So that's what we're doing here. Who here thinks $1 billion is nice, but $100 billion is nicer? Say aye. Yeah. I'd like $1 trillion personally. That's where it's going, right? Once this is fixed. Okay, so those of you who've seen me or heard me know I've been talking about this forever. Who's heard me talk about this every year? Yes. It's like a tradition. Okay, I'm tired of talking about it without doing anything about it. So I'm doing something about it now. I truly believe that if we fix the model, to bring it back to where it used to be, where customers find some expert who goes and buys and sells and packages up solutions, because this is how most businesses work. They hire some expert to figure out the problem, and then the expert figures out the components. That we're going to get there. But how do you do that with SaaS? How do you do that? You have to have some way customers can subscribe to an agency. The agency then can subscribe on their behalf to other products. It's been very, very difficult to do that. But I quit my job in 2016 because I found a solution to the problem. And so what I've been doing, building the association, because we need to be working on this as a group. And I have a new company that I'm working on now called AppBind, which I'd love to talk to you about, where I'm trying to solve this problem. And you know that I'm committed to solving the problem. You know I'm committed to you guys. You know that I want to fix the reseller channel. So if anyone here is working with resellers or an affiliate program that's masquerading as a reseller program, talk to me, please. I want to solve this problem for you. I want to do it the right way for you. You know I will do that for you guys, right? So this is what I am working on right now. So let's work together. Obviously on AppBind, you should work with me, and also on the association. So the association, it's a trade association. We're a nonprofit trade association, but really we're like a country club for partnership people. And everyone who's ever put time into this thing has had 1 million times the reward, because as partnership people, we rely on our professional network. And the value of the association is that it is the professional network. And when people want to partner with you at your company, they really want to partner with your company. But people move around, right? Your network doesn't necessarily come around. But when you're in this community, this association, you stay within your network. So it's worthwhile to work together. And also, we're all trying to solve the same problems. There's no point being alone, right? Trying to solve the problem by yourself. There's guaranteed there's someone in this room that has the answer for you. There's the whole point of bringing us together is that we smash together ideas and challenges until we can work together and fix this gap. So I have a call to action for you guys for the association. I would like people, I'm giving people an opportunity, and I'd like people to contribute. It's very simple. I just want to hear your stories about what you're doing in Partnerland, because the more stories we have, the more knowledge we have, the faster we'll overcome this gap. When you guys have a problem, reach out to our advisor network. We have a very extensive advisor and mentor network. In fact, we have several mentors here today at SaaS Connect. Reach out to them, because I know it sounds like you're getting the favor, but actually they're getting the favor. The reason why they volunteered to help you guys is they really love meeting people, right? And they love talking through problems with people, right? And there's no point getting stuck in your head. Talk to someone outside your organization, get a different perspective. You'll find that a lot of the partner challenges that we're struggling with, people have solved. talk to our advisor network. It's on our site, our advisors network. And the last thing is volunteer to be a mentor and advisor. Connect with other people. Share your stories. The more we're sharing our stories and experiences, the faster we'll overcome. So who's willing to help out? Say aye. Aye. It's commitment, it's contract. I got you. All right, so there's a lot of volunteers that go into this. I know I send you a lot of emails, but there's a lot of people here at the association that I'd like to thank. I'm sure I'm missing about 400 people. So first I want to thank you to our chairs, Dwight Foster, who's the chair of the board, Stephen Larson, our treasurer, who's been a hero on finance, Kevin O'Brien, who's run the program for the event. Thank you so much. Without you guys, this thing would never exist. I really appreciate it. The program committee, working with all the speakers and helping them with their decks and organizing and finding speakers, Tina, Richard, and Dina, thank you so much. And thank you to the rest of the board as well for helping with promotions, sponsors, all these other things that make an event. I also want to thank our vice presidents. So Jake, who's running our Slack channel. And by the way, if you guys are looking for the online version of this conference to try to figure out what's going on, if you go to our site, cloudsoftwareassociation.com/join, there's a little join the Slack link. That's where the online version of the conference is, and it also continues beyond the conference. Also Glenton from Microsoft, who's running the advisor program, and Chris from Blast Media, who's bringing PR opportunities to the network. So many people help with promotions: Scott Schreeder, Adam, Molly, Manvinder, Saul, AppDirect, Microsoft, Vita, SMB, Growth Marketing Conference, Blast Media, Woofy, Hipley, Techcelerate. There's only one way to reach out to the network of people is by asking the network to reach out to their network. So thank you so much. And thank you for those who tweeted and promoted on social and emailed folks. And thank you so much to the event coordinator, the novice over there, who's amazing. She's an event runner. Oh my God, I survived because of her. Bespoke the venue, and also our friends from ACI Video who are recording these talks, so we have them afterwards. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to our sponsors. This event is, costs money, and we're a nonprofit, and we rely on the sponsors. So thanks to our big sponsors, Microsoft for sure, AppDirect, Google, LogMeIn, and Amazon. And also thank you to our many other sponsors who are out in the networking hall. So many to name. Thank you especially to Zendesk, who's buying drinks tonight. So definitely give them a high five. Critical. So one of the things about this event is we're not at Expo Hall because we have partner people, but a lot of people come here because they want to meet people a lot. And the sponsors are out there because they're really interested in talking to you. And we're here to talk to each other. So one thing you can do is go out and talk to all the sponsors, not because they're going to sell you something, because they're partner people and they really want to do a relationship with you guys, right? So it's an opportunity. It's more an opportunity for you than for them. So please take an opportunity to do that sometime in the next 2 days. Finally, as a nonprofit, we do have a board. So I would like to nominate the greatest board ever. We are a partnership network, and we want the strongest people and the strongest companies to be on our board. Do you agree? So I'd like to nominate the board. Who would like to second the nomination? Say aye. Aye. Thank you. And let's have the actual vote. Who is in favor of having connected to Google, Microsoft, Salesforce, Vidyard, SaaS Max, AppDirect, WePay, Payoneer, Soligo, LogMeIn, Xero, and Nimble? Who wants to connect to these people? Say aye. Aye. Vote it in. There's no nays. I'd like the board to come up and introduce themselves. If you can sidle on up. Naomi has the mic, so I think you could start.
Oh, okay. I'm on? Okay, great. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. My name is Naomi Mbakwe at AppDirect and Customer Success Director. In a nutshell, I am all about helping our channels sell more software through our platform, which is half of you guys here today. And one of the challenges that I'm actually trying to work on is how do we make that easier? Because it's a really big internal transformation that happens for a lot of our channels. And so how do we remove the internal points of friction for them so that they can sell more, they make more money, you guys make more money, AppDirect makes more money, everybody wins. So thanks. And yeah, really happy to be here.
Hi everyone, my name is Tina Shah. I'm the COO of WePay. So WePay helps all of you provide payments to their merchants and their customers, and so we really can integrate with all of you. And my goal is really to help you all make more money through payments, and so really would love to just meet and get feedback and learn from all of you. I think personally these days we were recently acquired by Chase, and so working a lot on the integration and helping to figure out how to bring all of those assets and value to our partners and prospective partners. So I'm really excited for this conference because I think it's just a great way for us to learn more, and it's a really intimate setting to really for all of us to, as Sunir said, talk about our pain points and talk about how we can help each other.
Cool. Stephen Larson from Xero, thank you so much for being here. I know it's a huge effort for everyone to come, and really appreciate you guys coming. Xero is online accounting software. We are the largest online accounting software outside the United States. Inside the United States is a small company called Intuit. But outside the United States, there's Xero. And so we are very big across the Commonwealth countries, and we are the fastest growing provider also inside the United States. With over 1.2 million small businesses on the platform, and we're going to release our latest numbers here in a few weeks. Swing by our table, learn more about us, and we'd love to talk about partnerships.
Thank you, and I want to take a second. My name's Dwight Foster. I'm with Nimble CRM, and I'm the board chair. I want to take a second to thank Sunir and Stephen in particular. These two have been really grinding for the last 2 weeks to make sure this thing is successful. I've been involved with this. I first attended about probably 4 or 5 years ago, then got involved as a strategic advisor, and then joined the board. And what I would say is over the next 2 days, really just engage as much as you can, be open to every conversation. From my perspective, there's a lot of magic that'll happen over the next couple days for me and for each one of you, so I would seriously encourage you to just stay engaged and engage in every discussion that comes your way. I think you'll see great benefit.
Thank you. Good morning. I've been involved with this organization, for like 6 or 7 years. It's so great to see everyone again. Thank you for coming. My name is Chris Generalis. I'm with Celigo. We're an integration platform as a service. Would love to talk to you about your integration needs. We've got a little table outside. Stop on by. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Richard Gilbert. I've been with a board member now for 4 years. I really love this organization. My objective being here and being part of this is really to connect with people and to really address what Sunir was talking about, solving the problem of partnerships and how to make partnerships more effective and better for all of our organizations. I'm with Payoneer. I'm the director of partnerships for Payoneer. We are a cross-border payments company. We're focused on helping small and medium-sized businesses effectively transact all over the world in over 160 currencies. We're sort of a smaller version of PayPal, but we have a lot more reach in terms of what we can cover and the payments that we can make.
Kevin O'Brien, Business Development Vidyard, and look forward to working with you to bring video through partnerships to all of your customers and really drive the business layer of the, or the video layer of the business web. So appreciate the opportunity and look forward to meeting you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Manvinder Singh. I'm from Google Cloud and joining the board for the first time this year. Lots of reasons for us to be here. Part of this is working in the cloud space. I think we've significantly brought down the cost of building software, but we're bottlenecked in because the cost of selling software still remains high. Like Sunir talked about it. So as a platform company, we're very interested in figuring out how we can help you solve that problem. Also, we're part of the partnerships group, so we're trying to figure out how we can integrate our stack with various cool technologies out there. We're going to have a talk tomorrow morning. Brian, my colleague, is going to talk about it. Shameless plug, sorry about that. Also, as our business is growing pretty strong, so we're also hiring. Another shameless plug.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm Dina Moskowitz. I'm the CEO of SaaSmax, and I'm also a board member for probably about 3 years, I guess. And SaaSmax is a company that brings the human element of partnering with reseller partners together with the SaaS companies. And our mission really is to cross the chasm. So we deal with hundreds of SaaS vendors, and we're actually crossing the chasm by introducing them to thousands of reseller partners, but in a very curated, professional, personalized way, finding the right partnerships faster and more affordably, and then giving them the commerce tools to do business together.
Thanks, Tina. Randy Farbach. I manage North America channel for LogMeIn. We're one of the few billion-dollar SaaS companies that no one really knows about. So we have a portfolio of 16 products. So we're a portfolio company rather than a single focus. And I'd like to take the next 20 minutes to tell you about all the products. We have the GoTo group, GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar, spun off from Citrix a year ago and merged with LogMeIn. And since we've been acquiring companies. And so we have 3 business units: communication and collaboration, customer engagement and success, and identity management and access. And we're featuring LastPass here. You guys might know it. A lot of people don't know it's part of LogMeIn. And the talk tomorrow. And I really get a lot out of, 1, just making relationships, 2, learning about integrations and resell opportunities. I've already had several conversations for both. How do we embed our product in yours and enable you to resell it and grow better? And then learning and sharing that we do together. You know, this is our tribe here. And so we have a lot to do that we can share with each other. Thanks.
My name is Rick Witham. I'm with Microsoft. I am Gretchen O'Hara's proxy today. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here, but happy to be here in this space and meeting you all. I'm the director of go-to-market strategy, based here in San Francisco. And I have a personal passion about the SaaS space. I work with a number of SaaS partners, driving go-to-market with them in partnership with Microsoft. I'm most interested in talking with as many of you folks as possible today, understand what your pain points are, how do you think of go-to-market, what do you think your opportunities are, and how we might be able to tackle that together. So looking forward to the discussion over the next couple of days.
Thank you very much. Did anyone miss anybody? Good. So let's give a round of applause to our board. We have a very large board. We also have many, many, many different things you can do to step up if you wanted to put more in. No one has ever regretted putting time into their own partner network, and we're here to help you. So if you're interested in volunteering more at the executive level, also reach out to me. I got things for you to do for sure. This is it's a labor of volunteer love, this organization. So please step up. All right, thank you, board. Just want to get on to the plan of show. Thank you so much. All right, what's the plan for today? All right, so this is a conference, sure, but it's not really a conference, it's a retreat. So we're here to connect with each other, solve our problems, understand what other people are doing. We have lots of speakers who are telling stories from their own lives. They have great presentations. One thing I want to give to you as a task, a piece of homework, when you're in a presentation and you have a question or a doubt or a puzzle in your mind that's happening, ask the question at the end of the presentation, because I'm sure someone else has the same question, and I'm sure just by asking the question, we advance the ball towards that trillion-dollar market one little step further. That's one thing you can do. There are, at lunchtime, many networking opportunities, professional development opportunities. I know, like, a lot of people, when we talk to people, we get people to submit problems that they have. They're looking for people who have similar problems. So we have every year these roundtables. And so at lunchtime in this room, we're going to break out into circles. So if you're looking for a lunchtime conversation that also help you move forward in your career, the ones on today are the API and platform product design, one about capital, one about growth and marketing, one about sales, one about channel distribution with resellers and referrals. And they'll be in this room. Also, for those of you, I know partnerships is our thing, but all of us have to level up our marketing skills, so we're often doing many, many different things. I'm so glad that Kiwi Creative agreed to come here. They're running a workshop for those of us who want to learn better about how to do marketing and communications. You know, marketing automation, content delivery, production. These are critical parts of actually any partner communication, but also if you're doing marketing in general. They're running a workshop, and that'll be at the back over there in the room. So those are the things you can do at lunch if you're looking to level yourself up. And those things will be at 12:30 in this room. You know, we're not just about eating. We're like drinking too. So there's like lots of opportunities to gel at the end of the event. I know it can be exhausting. There's going to be a happy hour here, thanks to Zendesk, and then there's going to be our traditional big party, which is so important as partnership people to like mesh for relationships. I'm glad we could do it again. We're going to do it at the Hotel Zeta, which is it's on the agenda sheet. On 55 5th Street or something. So please join us there. It'll be 6:30 p.m. For those of you looking for meeting rooms or places to do, there's tables and stuff over there. You just go around. And then the last thing is, at the end of the sessions for lunch, please go out. I get it wrong, novice. Which way do you want them to go? This way, right? Yeah, so go out this way, that door, and go around, and the food is at the back, and there's a door over here, and come back in at lunch. So I'll remind you at the end. So that's the plan for today. Remember, the more you speak up, the more problems you solve, the more everything gets better. So, this is that kind of show. It's a retreat, not a conference, so please use it that way. And with that, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Matt. So I've known Matt from T-Sheets for, Chris, do you have the decks flipped? There we go. I've known Matt for 10 years. God, I'm old. You don't look like you've aged at all, but I feel like I've aged. Matt has one of the most interesting stories about the power of channel relationships. Remember that chart about big wins and big exits at the beginning I showed from the 1980s? Matt has lived that story. He took a timesheet product and worked really hard working on his channel with Intuit and had a great exit. Amazing. So he should buy the drinks, except the drinks are free. So just ask him. He can be the bartender. So with that, I'd like to introduce Matt, and please come on up.
Thank you.